popular amongst Volksgerald. Although born on the German shore, this tale touches the very core of a human value that we adore. Promises. A promise made is not a hollow word. We must value the inherent cord of trust and belief that runs with it and strive to ensure that every bit that has been spoken is not at all flawed or bear the humiliation of being called a fraud. Robert Browning, through this poem of caution, retells the tale in his unique fashion. Our endeavor is to tell you the story. Now, come let's bathe in the piper's glory.
It's not late yet.
It's past 10.
But I'm on holiday.
Really? You promised your mama and papa that a certain measure of decorum would be maintained. They promised to let you stay with us for a fortnight to amuse us all. They've kept their end of the bargain, and you've kept yours. It is now time I must keep mine. Otherwise, who knows what we'd have to pay the piper?
Who's the piper?
Who is the piper?
And what must he be paid for?
What a lot of questions. This wouldn't be another diversion on your part, would it be, Master William?
I just want to know what it means.
Alright. If I promise to tell you, will you decide to go to sleep without any further delay or procrastination?
Is it a story?
Well, yes, actually, it is a story.
Does it have ghosts?
No, but it does have several dreadful goings on.
Oh,
Now, have I your promise?
promise.
Very well. Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city, where the river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you never spied. Now, when begins my ditty? Almost 500 years ago. To see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity.
Vermin?
Rats!
Rats!
Rats! They fought the dogs and killed the cats, ate the cheeses out of the vats, bit the babies in the cradles, licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Yuck! They opened the kegs of salted sprats, made nests inside men's Sunday hats.
You dirty rat!
They even spoiled the women's chats, drowning the speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats.
Order, order. This assembly is called to order. To order. Hey, make a note of that town recorder.
Just a moment. Where's the mayor?
He said he'd stop by later. Something on a major meeting and do with banquets?
You all know what it's about. They're sitting there drinking beer.
Silence, please. Now this meeting has been convened to see if from rats we can be freed. I'd like to call on Bernard, the necromancer, to see if he has found the answer. Since Ulrich, the alchemist, didn't pan out, the rats have had the upper hand out. So take it, Bernard. This is tragic. The folks in Hamlin could use some magic.
This is a study commissioned by the corporation. The result of years of intense investigation. We don't know what causes the rates to flourish in multiplicity or why they're choosing to do it in a fair city.
Don't bother us with those details. Tell us how to get rid of them, heads and tails.
Get rid of them? Now that is a problem that is hard to fix. After all, it is the year only 1376. These rodents and mink, we don't know what makes them sling. About in nooks and crannies, attacking cooks and nannies, driving us to drink in the brink of desperation. You see this? This is perspiration. Science hasn't figured out the rates. After all, we still think the earth is flat. Hamlin's gone from bad to worse. We must conclude that there's a curse.
We know that.
We have had one new suggestion. Well, somebody seems to think that if you rub the snake oil on all of our bodies, it will make such a thing the rats would run away.
No more potions. Go back to your smelly lotion.
This meeting is adjourned. This meeting is adjourned.
Tell me, friend,
charge here.
What are you, some human rival? You're talking about survival. You must be eating the trails, man. You're not looking for a talking sales, man.
I only ask a civil question. As a matter of fact, I may have a new
They are just
suggestion.
frightened. Too much to be enlightened by any boring. Are you an actor?
You might call me a rat attractor. Consider me yet another factor in mankind's never-ending vermin war. I try to help man even up the score, unless of course I am not heeded. I never intrude when I am not needed.
You're needed here without a doubt. You must have figured that much out. Maybe you should take an application to the mayor incorporation. That's where you should be appearing to get yourself a decent hearing.
Thanks, young sir, for your advice. I'll take it and I won't think twice.
And so the people in a body to the town hall came flocking.
Oh my God! These rats! These rats! The rats! It's clear! Amen, Zanoni! Shocking!
Everything is under control.
Rouse up, sirs! Give your brains a racket!
To find anything we are lacking. People here.
At this, the mayor and the corporation quaked with mighty consternation. An hour they sat in the council. At length, an alderman broke silence.
This is another fine mess you have got us into.
Me? How do you come to that conclusion? Aren't such vermis intrusion?
No, but you're the mayor, are you not? Is it your responsibility or what? It happened during your administration. That's certainly a great consideration. And as for history's verdict, I shudder to think.
Everything does. But the kitchen thing, you saw what happened outside just now? They're in a farm mood anyhow. Today was fruit. That's bad enough. Tomorrow might be stronger stuff.
Well, whose idea was that full report? I see. No one with a prompt retort.
No one wants to say that's true, but only because that was mainly you.
I? Really, I? Oh me. Oh my. Perhaps I should lay down a mitre to someone who's a wee bit brighter. Perhaps they should all change their vote and shift the government to someone of no.
Not so fast! You're quite forgetting all the salaries we are getting. Don't talk about that. That is just upsetting. Changing the mayor is no solution. Not for our pockets, nor these rodents.
Will no one repair these meddlesome rats?
Just as he said this, what should have at the chamber door but a gentle tap?
Come in.
The mayor cried out, looking bigger, and in did come a stranger's figure. His queer long coat from heel to head was half of yellow and half of red. He himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin. Light rose hair, yet pasty skin. No tuft on cheek, no beard on chin. But lips where smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith and kin. And
Who let you in, sir? Go away. We're getting no free meals today. You interrupted a serious matter.
Perhaps I have, yet I flatter myself that I could.
We don't know the cheap theatrics. We have no time for story players.
How's Hamlin fixed for rodent slayers?
Oh no. Not another necromancer. We can none a second chance, sir.
Please, your honors, pardon me. I am able by means of a secret charm to draw all creatures living under the sun that creep or fly or swim or run after me, so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm. The toad, the mole, the newt, and the viper. And the people call me the Pied Piper.
And here they noticed around his neck a scarf of red and yellow, meshed with his coat of salesman chair. And at the scarf's end hung a pipe. And his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be plain. Upon the pipe as though as it dangled, his vesture so old and fangled.
Your reservations are not unjust, so I'll work to earn your trust. These rats, I say, have come from Satan, and if they're executed haste, I request you hear my brief oration. I've done business with the best, north or south or east or west. My powers have yet to fail a test.
And my references are on request. Say, if your township's cursed with lice, I'll pack them off to paradise. Piping's my game, extinction is my goal. Fire is my fame is my role. My offer's one you can't refuse, unless of course, you see how you could lose. So I propose a simple pact to solve your problem for a fact. Say yes, and I'll proceed at once. You should be free of rats by lunch.
And if, by chance, you keep your word, what shall be the reward?
If I can rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?
50,000!
50,000 is not my fee. 1,000 guilders contents me. Now, have we a bargain made?
We have!
Then it's time for me to ply my trade.
Into the street where piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic held in his white pipe all the while. And then like a musical attempt to blow the pipe, his lips he wrinkled, as his green and blue sharp eyes twinkled. Like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled, and ursine notes he uttered. You heard as if an army murmured. The murmuring grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling. And soon, the rats came tumbling. Great rats, small rats, beanie rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and prickling whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, flocked to the pipe up for their lives. From every which way rats came streaming, so many rats it looked like dreaming. From street to street he piped advancing, step for step they followed dancing, glancing, filled with visions most entrancing, woven by the piper's spell they found most entrancing. Tumbling in pursuit until they came to River Western, wherein all plunged. And soon perished.
You should have heard the Hemlin people ringing the bell when they rocked the steeple.
Go, good people, get long poles, poke out the nest, blot up the hole, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave no trace of the rats. Just a minute. Gentlemen, this is the door. I think there's something in that door. Go home, people! Go home!
What?
1,000 guilders? I feel blue.
So does the corporation too. With claret, moselle, with the ground, hawk.
And half the money would replenish our stock sellers' big and folks with drainage.
But what are we to tell him?
Perhaps an accident should befall him.
Put that down. We can't be furious. Such an action would be furious. If for one ride you want to suburb, you have to be a lot more clever.
Pay the sum to a wanted fellow.
With a gypsy coat of red and yellow.
Besides, the business was done on the river's brink. We saw with eyes the vermin sink. And what's once dead can't come to life, I think. Heather, bring in the piper. I'll handle him. You, widen this rifle. And after this affair is over, what say you to a fresh billet of clover? Friend, not the folk to string, from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in a poke. But as to the guilders, what he spoke of them, as you very well know, was a joke. Besides, the loss have made us 50. 1,000 guilders. Ha ha. Come to 50.
No trifling. I can't wait. Besides, I've promised to visit by dinner time Baghdad to accept the chief cook's pottage. All he's fetching for having left in the caliph's kitchen of a nest of scorpions. No survivor. With him, I'll prove no bargain driver. With you, I won't bet a fiver. And folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion. Now, if you break the promise you made, this is the only time I want. By the time the sun has changed to shade, you'd all wish you're never born.
Shut up, fellow, but do your worst. Blow past it till first.
So be it. Hamlin's cursed.
Once more he stepped into the street. To his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight air. There he blew 3 such sweet soft notes as if musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of many crowds jostling and pitchling and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping and little tongues chattering, and like fowl in a farmyard where barley is scattering. Out came the children running. All the little boys and girls with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping, ran merrily after the piper, shouting and laughter.
The mayor was dumb, and the council stood as if they were changed into blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry to the children's, merely skipping by, could only follow with the eye the joyous crowd at the piper's back. But how the mayor was on the rag, and the wretched council's bosoms beat, as the piper turned from High Street to where the Weser rolled its waters, and right in the way the sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast.
He never can cause that mighty top. He's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop.
When lo, as they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide. And as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed, the piper advanced and the children followed. And when all were into the very last, the mountainside doors shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, not danced the whole of his way. After years, if you were to blame his sadness, he was used to say,
which the piper also promised me. For he led us to a joyous land, joining the town and just at hand. A water gushed and shrewdly school, and flowers poured forth out fairly, and everything was strange to me. The sparrows were brighter than peacock's skin, and their dogs outran our fallow deers, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagles. And just as I felt assured, my lame foot would be speedily cured, the music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside that left alone.
Alas and alas for Henry. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south to offer the piper by word of mouth. Wherever it was, men sought to find him, silvers and golds to his heart's content. If only he'd return the way he went and bring the children behind him. When they saw it was lost endeavor, the piper and the dancers were gone forever. They made a decree that the lawyer should never think that their records dated duly. And if after the day and month and year, these would as well not appear, and so long after what happened here, the 22nd of July, in the year 1376, and better in the memory to fix the place of children's last retreat.
They called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing on flute or laid table was sure of to lose their future's labor. And on the great church window painted the same to make the world acquainted to how their children were stolen away, and there it stands to this very day. I must not omit to say, in Transylvania, there's a tribe of alien people who ascribe the outlandish ways and dress in ways in which leads them to having such stress, with the fathers and mothers having arisen out of some subterraneous prison into which they were Japan long ago in a mighty band of Hamlet Town in Brunswick land. But how or why, they don't understand. So Willie, let you and me be wipers, of goes out with all men, especially fighters, and whether they free us from rats or from mice, if we promise them on, then let us keep our promise.
The sad state of Hamlet we just did witness, but I wonder how many it did impress. For many a time, even today, we do go back on what we say. Let's all take a pledge, here and now, to never ever break a vow. Thank you from Martand House.